Hello everyone, welcome back to another video with On Point Politics, your number one stop for all things polling and election analysis in the United States. And today we're going to be looking at the probabilities I have for every single state and basically allocating their battleground rating for this presidential election. Make sure to hit the like button and to subscribe if you want more content just like this. And so looking at all of these states of Utah, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, all of the Dakotas, as well as all of Nebraska, except the 2nd Congressional District, as well as Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, West Virginia, as well as Missouri, South Carolina, the state of Florida, Texas, Iowa, Ohio, are all in the safe Republican column, including Alaska, as well as Maine's 2nd Congressional District. All of these states do have a margin of pretty much over 50% in all of these states for the former president as of right now. These are all states that more than likely will go to Donald Trump, pretty much almost 100% guaranteed in the election odds. For the Democrat states, we have those of California, Washington. We also have the state of Illinois, including the states of New York, as well as Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, and the District of Columbia, as well as Maine's 1st Congressional District, and Hawaii in this column. As of right now, all of these states have a greater than 75% chance of going to their respected candidate. So Harris is essentially guaranteed 173 electoral college votes to Trump's 219 safe electoral college votes. What you'll notice right away is that Donald Trump is essentially guaranteed his entire 2024 except North Carolina in this probability forecast. So looking at the states that are in the likely column for the former president, states that are going for him by a pretty decent amount in the margins are Georgia, North Carolina. We have those in that column, including the states of Arizona and Nevada. These are states that the odds are essentially a little bit above 60 percentage point chances, including Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. So all of those states have over essentially a 60% chance or greater to go to Donald Trump as of right now. And that already wins Donald Trump the election. And if we look at some of these other swing states, we have Colorado, Oregon in this forecast, as well as I believe New Jersey is actually in this column. I mistakenly put it in the safe column, but it is not in the safe column. It's actually in the likely column in terms of the probability rating. Some of the states fall right above or below the 50% chance, so I may have kind of messed that up slightly. But as of right now, those are all of the states that are essentially in the likely column for either candidate in terms of probability. So more than likely, Oregon, Colorado, and New Jersey are going to go to Harris. And as of right now, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada are overwhelmingly favored to go to the former president in this forecast. That leaves certain traditional swing states in certain columns as of right now for these two candidates. Looking at the lean Democrat states and favorability states that have around a basically 55 to 60% chance of going for either candidate, we have New Mexico, Virginia, as well as Maine at large. For Harris, she is the slight favorite to win all of these battleground states as of right now. Looking at the state of Michigan, it is actually really close, but it does narrowly fall into the lean Republican column in terms of favorability chances of going to Donald Trump. In this forecast, it is around a 56 to 57 percentage point chance of going to the former president in our forecast. And now the toss-up states are effectively Minnesota, Nebraska 2nd, and New Hampshire. Those are the states that are essentially toss-up states as of right now that could basically go either way, that are within a 55% chance for either candidate to win them. The closest one out of all of these is actually the state of New Hampshire, which has a slightly above a 50% chance of going to Donald Trump. But to give a little bit of a window here, I do want to leave these states in the toss-up category to give a little bit of breathing room for some of the categorizations in the forecast, leaving some room for interpretation. And Minnesota, Nebraska, second, and New Hampshire are those toss-up states that are within those probability chances of flipping to Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. So Donald Trump's best case scenario, according to this, is around 327 electoral college votes, and Harris's best case scenario right now would be the 226 electoral college vote scenario. And I have a couple things to back this up. I mean, Michigan right now, a lot of the private internal data, that I've heard from Rich Barris and other people, has Donald Trump up one in the state of Michigan right now. Pennsylvania, their internal numbers do not look good either. They do not look good either in the state of Nevada, hence why she had to do the no tax on tips thing. And right now, we actually use adjusted polling averages that I myself have created for the states. So that's what I use in terms of predicting these elections in certain battleground states, because my averages reweigh all of the polling data to a target electorate based on the divide of Republicans, Democrats, and independents that I have chosen is the most appropriate to adjust for any polling error that could possibly happen in the election. And so when you use my polling averages that are eliminating the polling bias, that's why you get Donald Trump with such high probabilities to win some of these swing states. He's polling far better in a lot of these states than he was in 2020, anywhere from 5 to 10 points better in some of these states, including New Mexico, Virginia, and even Oregon, guys. Like, they had a D+5 poll out of Oregon come out very recently. That is why it's not in the safe Democrat column in terms of its rating, because there is a non-zero chance that Donald Trump can actually win it. I mean, if we go through some of these states right now, we can look at some of these, deep blue, states that sometimes people think Donald Trump has no chance of winning. But if we go to California right now, Donald Trump's chances are listed at 9.1%. In the state of California. Hawaii actually has a greater than 20% chance of winning it, by the way. Just to let you know, he has a greater than 20% chance of actually winning Hawaii. Illinois has got about a 24% chance there. In Idaho, Harris literally has like a 2% chance. Looking at Kentucky, she's got about a 3% chance. Iowa, only 15% there. Ohio, same thing. North Dakota, Harris has a 1% chance of winning the state. North Carolina, Donald Trump is nearly the favorite of above 70 to even win it. So he's got a 69 percentage point odd in the state of North Carolina. Wisconsin, he's at 63%. Michigan right now, if you go ahead and look at that one, he's at 56% odds there right now. Minnesota, Harris is basically favored at 54% to win the state, but that's not good enough to really guarantee your victory in a state in terms of probability. I mean, neither really is, to be honest. 60% chance isn't really good for either candidate, to be honest with you, because you had times where Hillary was ahead 90% in some states and she didn't really win it. New York, he's got a 21% chance to win that one. Trump is above a 40% chance to win, New Mexico. And we have the 538 map, which doesn't make any sense because we have, this model here that, yes, they have Harris ahead because they adjust their averages to what they think it's going to be on election day, which doesn't make any sense. Their average results are Harris 284 to Trump's 254. Funny enough, ours are basically the exact opposite. Trump in our simulation gets 628 wins. Harris is at about 387 wins. There's about 15 scenarios where a tied election happens. And on top of that, we also see here there is a spread of the graph in terms of the best case scenarios. So I believe for Donald Trump, in our best case scenario, it is between 402 to 410. And Harris's best case, which is literally one scenario, is between 354 to 362%. So that's where that's at. But you can clearly see a large amount of the Harris votes are around 219 to 298 or 290. So really, her average performance is around the 250s, with some of it leaning in that category. Donald Trump's average performance is actually above 270, like I stated before. His most likely outcome, according to the model, is 282 to 290. Harris's greatest outcome is 251 to 259. That's kind of what they're looking at right now in terms of the favorability odds. But Donald Trump, in terms of getting over 300 electoral votes, which starts at about right here, has way more scenarios where he gets over 300 than Harris even does, and even expands to 400 in some scenarios. We look at a state like, over here, Harris getting in the very low amounts. Donald Trump's worst case is getting 179 to 187, but that's not really a large amount of the probabilities, including Harris has one scenario about getting 328 to 131, which is the opposite of what is at the end's tail right there. So that is fairly interesting. We clearly see a majority of Trump's share is anywhere from 251 to about 332, which is very interesting because my floor for Donald Trump is 251 electoral college votes. By the way, that's literally my floor for Donald Trump into the electoral college. So that is pretty fascinating, that is where his probabilities begin to spike in terms of the election scenarios. So clearly a majority of them are around the 251 to 306-ish range. That's kind of where his favorite scenarios are. And looking at Harris, hers start at around 285 to about 290. Those are where her more favorable scenarios are in terms of the electoral college performance. So again, that's also really interesting as well, and clearly shows that Donald Trump is at a good position to really be ahead in Georgia, really leading into election night. And so playing around with the model was really fascinating. But if Donald Trump loses Pennsylvania, his odds go down quite a bit. We could actually even play around with this right now. Let's say that right now we were to change the margin for, let's say the margin ends up being, a lean margin in Pennsylvania for Donald Trump. Let's say that's the case, right? So let's say, or, for Harris, let's say that Harris is winning the state by 1 point right now, right? His odds in the simulations go down somewhat a decent amount at that point, because it would really almost be impossible for him to really win the election at that point. His election scenarios do go down quite a bit once that does actually occur. His average electoral votes go down pretty substantially. And if you look at a state like Georgia, if that one were to go Democrat, at that point, his odds also go down quite a bit. He goes from 65 to 60% odds, so that's also a problem. But let's say, he goes in Michigan, right? He loses Michigan. Let's say he's down in Michigan, and let's say he's down in Pennsylvania. Let's say that that's the case, right? And let's say he's down in New Hampshire, just as a hypothetical scenario. If we look at the simulation odds, again, they sort of don't go down, but if we were to flip Wisconsin, for example, to Harris, that is a problem, because at that point, you see the odds go way down for Donald Trump, and the scenarios for ties go up, because that 269 scenario could potentially happen if, certain states go. That is definitely pretty interesting. But if some of those swing states were to fall for Donald Trump in the Rust Belt, in my ratings, his probability of winning those states and the election as a whole go way down. But in terms of a toss-up map, this is pretty fair. If you wanted sort of an expanded one, like if you really wanted an expanded battleground, I guess you could technically say Trump is going into election night with 297 electoral votes, and Harris is kind of entering the night with 191. If you really wanted like an expanded one, you could kind of go ahead and say that this is remove all the likely states and say these are the states that are all up for grabs. But really, to be honest, Donald Trump is pretty much guaranteed Texas, Florida, Ohio, and Iowa. Like, I wouldn't even worry about those states. States like Washington, California, Illinois, New York, like some of those, like they may be closer, but definitely not states that I don't even think he'd be able to win. But Harris is really only guaranteed 159 electoral college votes, which, really think about it, is really not that great. That is really not good in terms of your probability chances of winning the electoral college. And in terms of the, lean and tilt states in terms of probability, Michigan is up for grabs. Like Donald Trump can basically expand the map in terms of the probability ratings right here. And so if you guys did enjoy this analysis, make sure to hit the like button and to subscribe. If you want more content just like this, I will be posting updates to the probability models, and we are going to display it online at some point. We are going to have that displayed on the website as well, because I do think it is necessary to show the simulation model as well. So if you guys do enjoy this content, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to follow me on X in the description down below at onpointpolitics in all lowercase, and we will see you guys in the next video.